Hello, hello, hello. Hello, welcome to Afriscope TV. And this is your one and only Afriscope. And today, I have this show actually inspired by me thinking about how we Africans can get along. And there is a particular trait that I've actually identified with not with all Africans because I don't know all Africans. Okay, I only know the ones that are located in Ghana and the ones that I maybe interact with. So the family is actually large. African family is large, but I think we when I think about unity and I think about how we can progress as a group and become strong and dominant in the world, I also think that it is very much important that we address some of the issues that are actually keeping us from uniting or working with each other. Once again, welcome to Afriscope TV. This show is about cultural insights, how to deal with devious African people. What do I mean by that? We'll get into that as we proceed. But first and foremost, I want to say a big shout out to brother Janzola for you know being the first to comment on the show. Thank you for being here, Ja. And shout out to Kifaru for also being here. And I also want to say a big shout out to my one and only when I say super father out there, the one who kept this show operating, the one who kept on motivating me to come back on YouTube to start this show. That's Andrew. If you know Andrew, I know most of you will definitely know who Andrew is. So that is it for now. Let me just start diving into the show. I'm going to be dropping the link if you have something to share about this particular topic, or if this topic actually triggered, uh, some a different view, in your mind. You can join us on the show as well. Shout out to everybody here. And so when I think about this topic, I actually started discussing the topic with somebody else, and then they were like, "Why am I bringing up this divisive topic? It's not right." And I'm like, "No, it's right." So I decided to explain a bit to the person, and the person was like, "Okay, then that's a good topic." So as humans as we are, right? We are not perfect. African people, black people are not perfect. But as you know, this is Afriscope, African scope, where I focus on what will unite us. So one of the things that will unite us is when we get rid of some of the negativity that we possess as people. That is keeping us separated. So to achieve the development within Africa and among Africans worldwide, we need to do away with the traits that impede development. And the most common trait when it comes to today's show is pretense. Africans pretending. Some of them pretending to be rich, some pretending to be poor. And it's often the reverse opposite. Yes, the pretense, devious. You know, you kind of when I want us to define what is the falsity when it comes to Africans in as a whole, is it relating to, let me just start this way. The way we present ourselves most often with our own people and in other communities which are not black is often false. When a typical African over here on the continent who is rich wouldn't want to present himself as rich to the fellow African people in their community because they think whatever that we'll dive into is as time proceed, right? Same You see the poor African who you know for a fact is not having anything. Maybe you and that person, might be friends, is trying to show to somebody or to prove to the world that they are so rich. Of course, we as African, we are rich. We are rich when it comes to melanin. Sorry. We are rich when it comes to melanin. We have melanin. We are rich when it comes to the continent of Africa. We have all the resources, even though it doesn't benefit us as African people. But at the end of the day, right? The truth is, there is something lacking. We are There is something lacking out there. Why are we always devious? Why do we? Why is it that in our community there is so much dishonesty? Fathers lying to their children, promising them heaven on earth, and then keeping them confused at the end of the day. I'm gonna make sure that you go to the best school, and then now when it's time to do that, then they're gonna blame you for something you haven't done and make you feel like you are the reason why they can't help you. Yes, it's a common trait in African society. They are there out loud, parents trying to, I mean, claiming they are the best, they are the whatever, but when it comes to the house, there is always a question mark. This is what I'm talking about. Why are we always pretending? So I'm going to drop the link. I don't know, maybe somebody will want to contribute to this show. So I'm going to drop the link right now because this show can be interesting if you really understand what I mean. But as being devious, we are trying so hard in the world as African people. We are trying to prove to the world that we are the best. We have all that, we have all this. But at the end of the day, we ain't shit. We are not taking good care of ourselves. Everything is proving that yeah, we are the people running helter skelter in people's community searching for jobs, whatever. How many white people are here in Africa searching for jobs? No. But when we get to those countries, you want to prove to them so badly. You see so-called Africans that immediately they find themselves in the US and America, whatever it is, in the West, in Europe, then they start to become content creators. They wanted to prove that Africa is the best, Africans are. No, the truth is you are dealing with discrimination in those countries, right? Instead of now looking at building upon yourself, instead of actually developing yourself, instead of standing up for yourself, you went on YouTube promoting counter racism content. It's very common nowadays. You go on TikTok, you see a lot of Africans that left the continent, and now they found themselves in a community where people now tell them who they are, and they want to prove to them so bad like they are not poor. It's a controversial topic. Of course it is. It's a controversial topic, and I'm not trying to make us feel bad about ourselves, but why I want to understand, how do we deal with this problem? Maybe you have some, I have some, everybody have some. It's a trait that all of us have. um Welcome, Kifaro. Would you mind taking off the camera, because I know you might not like to use that. Yeah. Hello, welcome, Kifaro.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, it's actually my first time being here, but this is really interesting conversation. You understand?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what you're saying, I think I understand very well. I'm just going to give my own way of understanding why do we want to prove to the world that we are what we are not? Okay, we have this perception that pretending to give yourself a status that you actually don't carry, you don't represent. It's beneficial for the world, you understand, and it's really really bad because it's a form of shortcut. You understand? People who actually
Yeah.
have those portfolios, they've actually worked for it. They did not fake it. You
Hmm.
understand? So this
Yeah.
idea, for example, I'll give you a perfect idea. This idea of a celebrity that I see a lot of Africans calling people celebrity. That's not celebrity. A celebrity is actually someone that the country or the money makes money out of. I'll give you an example. Like in the West, we have celebrity magazines or journals. People buy and read. There's a business behind these celebrities. People pay them to promote like to promote your product. It's a big money making thing. You understand? But we just think most Africans. I think I'll come back to your topic. We think we can fake that, and when you fake something, it shows. And somebody that's actually doing that thing look at you. They look at you as being some kind of a primitive, or I don't know, a backward kind of individual, and we
Yeah.
promote that. I think it's a kind of coping mechanism. To me, I see it as some kind of laziness. We don't actually want to work to achieve what we should achieve, but we want shortcuts, and shortcuts don't go nowhere. You may have some cheap and fake fame for 6 months, and after that, you're gone. No one sees you. You go back to your root and start struggling again. It's a
Yeah.
deceptive way of life, and it's not good at all.
Yeah. Do you think I know you live where do you live where are you calling from? Is it Canada, the US, or
No, I'm calling from Italy.
oh, I see. So do you see this behavior among us over there? It's like we try to prove to people who are not as that we are. It's mostly this is it when we are hanging out with different race. We trying to prove to them that we are
Mm-hmm.
somehow superior,
Mm-hmm.
or better, or we are just good. Or some people will just be like they are so good people, they are the best people you can ever meet. And then the so-called person you are trying to prove to doesn't care. But even your own brother at home, you don't want to prove to them right that you don't treat them well. But you see these people, you are giving them all these accolades, all these celebrity treatment, and then you step back and look carefully, say, what is wrong with that? Why are we always like this? Yeah. Do you see that?
Of course, of course, of course. It's some kind of an inferiority complex that is really bad. I'll give you a perfect example. Most Africans in the West, like people who don't really understand how the community works, how the Western countries work, people will actually waste their life saving just to have a car to impress other people. You understand? Like I see
Definitely,
people.
definitely.
Um,
Yes, I do
yes,
understand what you are saying.
yes. They spend their whole fortune just to have a car that they are struggling to maintain, just to show other people that they are living well. It's a kind of a complex, because they feel when people see you a certain way, they respect you. People might see you the way you look, they might respect you, but once they come closer to you and they speak to you, people who are, I don't want to use the word intelligent, who are smart, who understand, when they come to you and they speak to you and they just notice you're just some kind of a waste of
A
time. They don't
scam.
want to talk. They don't want to
You're a
talk.
scam.
Yes, they don't
Yeah.
they don't like to associate themselves with you anymore. So the only people
Yeah.
you find around you are stupid. I don't want to. I don't like using the word stupid. People who don't understand how this thing work, and they're looking at you and they want to be like you. So it's not like any real person that can really better your life around you. It's just people who wouldn't understand, that want to get this fake fame.
Hmm.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
to get this fake fame. And most of us, most Africans, we still fall for fake fame. You understand? And
Yeah.
that's why, because we tend to promote that in our society. We don't promote intelligence. We tend to promote fake fame. So you can fake yourself and people might even like you and think you're something better. So when others see that this fake person is succeeding, they try to do the same. They try to copy the same trend, which
Yeah.
is not really good for the society.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? We're talking about the fake fame, and the fake fame is now like it's a how do you call it? They are now educating other people online about how to present themselves fake, so that they could be treated right. This is what they call it. They will be treated right by society. People wouldn't treat you right when you try to present yourself the way you are. You have to present this yourself some, and it's no, it's like that. It's not right.
Yeah.
When
Just wait. I just take some call. I'll get back to you, please.
all
Sorry.
right, all right, yeah. So it's just often I found this very confusing in itself. Like there was this lady on, there was this lady. Welcome, Juju. So there was this lady on Facebook last time I came across, and this woman was promoting this idea that people will treat you based on the way you present yourself, not on the way the knowledge you have and whatever. No, they don't care. How you look first is how they will, and it's actually true. But is it the definite solution to us being the true our true selves? Is it that you need to go and buy for the ladies, do you have to buy a human hair, a 20 inches human hair, and then buy all the so-called they call them, what they call it, those branded fashion goods and items, and accessorize yourself just to be in the midst of people and present yourself so that they will say you are from a rich family? Or so no, it's not right. There is something false about all of that. And most often it's actually the reverse. The people in our community that try so much to do that, presenting themselves, wasting all their life savings on their looks, on their unnecessary stuffs, they tend to be the people who are actually the poor. So you wonder, you stay back and you be like, what is wrong here? And then you see on the contrary, right? On the contrary, there are people who actually are poor, or no, are actually rich in our community, but they try as much as possible to make themselves look so poor so that their own families wouldn't approach them. Over here in Africa, it's like a disease. You see rich people, you see that they have everything. You know for a fact when you approach them, you know they have it, but they don't want to show you that they have it. So that one of the reasons, one of the reasons is that they don't want to help people. They don't want to help their own brothers and sisters. So they have to present themselves as being poor, as not having it, looking miserable. Why would you treat yourself like that? Why will you subject yourself to such a treatment just because of the little thing you give to, or help you give to your own brothers and sisters? So you have to treat yourself like an isolated being on the planet, like everything good on the planet has deserted you, just that you just don't want to help people. You just don't want to be true to yourself. It's bad. If that is how we are living as black people, then we have to deal with it. How do we deal with this trait? It's poor people pretending to be rich, and now it is worse online. Going out there to shop, borrowing goods, to accessorize all of those things, trying to promote some goods, selling some items because of this and because of that. And then even here on YouTube, I get people each and every day reaching out to me, telling me they have a course on how I can promote my YouTube. I should buy a course for about $200. I should buy this course for $200, $100, and that course is going to help me to become a better content creator, and then I'm gonna get more views and more subscribers. This is how and let me tell you, the most people that approach me with such content are not white people, they are black people trying to sell you course. They tell it, oh, when you turn left and turn right, the reason they have all of this is because they are the experts in that. And he said it's lies. Look closely, look at their background, look at their qualification. Are they really experts? No. But they come online, present themselves as the experts of these topics and expert the think tanks, and then they try to lure their own. We try to lure our own people into giving off the apple. Then they start having these shows that they call it how do you call it? They say consultation, and then you have to pay consultation for $100, and for $200, it's gonna help you get that. It's gonna help you get this. We are the people who do that the most, Africans, unfortunately. And if you think this is controversial enough that I'm just trying to uh, paint us in a bad light and that's not all true. If you think that's it, it's not bad, then you and I need to work on ourselves too as well. Because if you don't see the problem that we have, that we are being devious, we are lying to ourselves. We are not living. It's that we have to prove ourselves to somebody out there that we are the best people, we are the caring people, we are the lovely people. People coming online, immediately somebody talk about black people, they are making a counter content, trying to prove to them that they are the best people. We are whatever. You did this and you did that. It's unnecessary. All of those things, I consider them unnecessary. You don't have to prove yourself if you are worth it. Anyways, guys, we can join the show. What do you think about this topic, right? What do you think? The link is here. What do you think? As black people, don't you think this deviousness is costing us a lot? Parents lying to their children. It has become like a culture. Oh, you have to lie to make your children happy. Tell them you buy them that, you buy them this. I will take you to that school. I will fend for you this way. I will give you that. When time comes, when time comes to do that, you are nowhere to be found. And then the next day, you are presenting yourself as, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that. That's why you haven't done this. It's because of that. That's why I haven't done it. And it's all lies. You are back to square one, lying, pretending to be what you are not. It's just so obvious that we cannot be ourselves. It's one of the most difficult things as a black person, being ourselves. We are afraid of being judged by another counterpart for how we carry ourselves, for our features. We are just there. Am I making an excuse for somebody, or am I just trying to be so constructive? Anyways, guys, I would like to actually play some video on this topic, but it's shameful that we try so much, yeah, to appeal to people who don't care about you. They don't care. They don't care where we live, what we eat, what we do. No, they just living their life. And so when one of them from their community is dealing with their own problems and now they wanted to attack us, then guess what? There are a lot of people in our community that will start making content, counter content, trying to, counteract other people's views. Who cares? Let people be people. People say things. Do we have to prove to them that we are right always? Do we have to prove to other people that we are the best, that we are the most caring people? I think if you are the most caring person, you need to care for yourself and the people around you first. And these are your people. It shouldn't be somebody who are not even closely related to you. It must start from yourself. When it starts from yourself, then it's going to transition. It's going to transition more naturally, okay, is gonna flow naturally to other people around you. You don't have to force the love. You don't have to force the caring nature. You don't have to force the fact that you are beautiful. We don't have to prove to others that, oh, we need to wear that type of hair or that type of shoe, that type of dress just to be good or presentable or whatever. It all starts from within, right? So I want to say a big shout out to all of you for being here. Juju, Janzola, Kifaru was here a while ago, and all of you. Yeah. So the content is about is a cultural insight content, how to deal with devious African people. You can be one, I can be one, but how do we deal with that? How do we um, prove ourselves without necessarily being devious? Yeah, guys, can anyone join me on the show? I'm waiting for any caller. Um, I'm going to see if I can play a video here. But do you know that actually they know us? People know us very well. Yeah, people really know us for what we do. Yeah, welcome back. Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, Kifaru, can you hear me? Yeah.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear you
okay.
now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I had some calls, Yeah, so it was nice conversation. And so how
Yeah, you want
soon
to.
how
Yeah.
soon did you notice this behavior towards African?
Oh, it's a common something. I'm an African, so if it's something that when you are growing, or it's either you also partake in it. It's either you partake in it, or you are considered like an outcast. Because basically you're gonna see that your parents might definitely show you. Yeah, they're gonna prove to you. I mean, I quite remember, um even this was happening in the village, right? Where you see that, people, somebody visits from the city, and they try so hard to prove to the person that they are rich, or they have everything figured out, or they are the most knowledgeable people, and and I'm like, no, do you have to do that? I just found it rather funny in itself. Then it become worse. Nowadays it become worse that, when you jump online, it's always pretense. Somebody pretending to be this, somebody pretending to be that, and they are trying to, I even said it, I'm going to repeat it again, that I get a lot of people sending me messages that, oh, there is this course that will help you to become a best content creator. Just come and book an appointment with me for $100, for that dollars. Oh, this is what I use, and I look this way. It's very common nowadays. It's their lies. Most of
Of
it are
course,
lies.
of course. It's just like it's hustling, People just trying to, you're the one that they want to make their money out of. If they actually had a secret that made them successful content creator and they were making money, they will not share it to you until there's They are satisfied, they are saturated. Okay.
Yeah.
The only way for them to get money is to convince you that they can tell you to become a content creator. So the money they have in their success depends on you paying them, not on the content that they create. Understand? And again, this mindset of African trying to have this fake fame, it still boils right down from we can try to take it right from the time of colonialism. You understand that the way most Africans were being treated, those that were closer to the colonizers were given some kind of privilege. They had to look a certain way. Maybe they could have more amenities than the other Africans. Maybe they dress in different way. So people looked up to them and want to be like them. You understand? And it has gone. It's a kind of it's a culture that has been graved in some of us, in most of our forefathers, um, internally. You understand? But they don't really know it's coming from that period, and it's been passed down from one generation to another generation. Now, even if you're in Africa, you're rich man, like you have enough. And if you try to be normal, people kind of shame you. You understand what I mean? The
Definitely.
child, yeah. So look at you, you're a rich man. You should be having this. You should be having this. But the world does not work like that. That's why I call those people unconscious people. We even take example. I don't like referencing rich European, but look at people like Bill Gates. Okay,
Yeah.
the other one, the one that's got Facebook. They're just simple people because what actually make you a man is not how you look. Again, there was a time in Europe where dressing was a status, was gives you status. We have the bourgeoisies. When you see how this elite dress, they dress in this big Victorian robe. You understand? They
Yeah.
dressed like really expensive because at that time dressing was like a status. But these people they didn't just dress to fake it. They were actually nobles that dressed that way. So you could tell the difference between a noble and a peasant from the way they dress. But we have passed gone that time. Now what actually makes you is what actually you think and how much you can contribute to your society. And I think it's high time for Africans to start seeing people for who actually what benefit they have for the society, not the fake
Yeah.
fame. That's why you see most of our people now is full of Africans on social media just doing anything stupid just because they want to get some money. Everyone wants to be a comedian. Everyone wants to be some kind of I don't know artist because they think it's a fast. But there's no really I don't want to talk bad about comedy or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's
It's
not
so
got
obscene
yeah, it
online.
does
Yeah.
not look like like some substance. You understand? I don't believe people may come for me. I don't believe comedians can build a nation. I don't
Mm.
believe comedians can build a nation. I don't believe footballers can build a nation. I don't believe musicians and artists can build a nation. They're just there to entertain people. But for us to get that entertainment working for us, we need to have a nation that is working. And only
Mhm.
the smart people can build that nation. No, they need to create the base for any other one to flourish upon. You
Yeah.
understand? So we
Definitely.
should not fake who we are. We should be truthful to ourselves. If you don't have money and you want money, work for it. And it's
Yeah.
going to even be beneficial because during the due course, you will learn so many things and people will appreciate you. But when people think you're rich and like smart people, people that think they're on the same level with you, when they meet you to talk with you, you're just an empty vessel. It's
Definitely.
not good. You understand?
Hmm. You know what? The definition itself about being devious is kind of broad in itself. Like, you know, being dishonest,
Mm.
manipulative, cunning in a way that is harmful to others. And devious people often have hidden agendas and ulterior motives that they do not actually reveal instantly. you know so it's like we have a work to do ourselves to figure out if somebody is being devious, because at the look of things you are just seeing, they are not gonna present themselves as being devious or being or liars or dishonest people. They are going to present themselves so that you can actually trust them. That's how it's difficult. Like that's how it is. It's not like it's just easy to figure out that we are being devious people or whatever. It's something that you have to wear the shoe, for instance, or you have to be so close to somebody to kind of figure out that, oh, this person is actually lying. No. So the dresses the person is wearing are actually from this thrift store. It's not from the main it's not from the, how do you call it, the manufacturer's shop. Oh, so you see, so this person eats this type of food but act like they only eat from this type of restaurants. So it's actually you nobody have time to actually be chasing after people looking forward to seeing if they are being devious. But at the end of the day, they all devious people have hidden agendas and ulterior motives.
Mm.
Number one is either to climb the social ladder, or number two is either to, maybe they might be dealing with their own insecurities, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and they may even use various tactics to deceive, control, or exploit others, such as lying, gaslighting, projecting, badgering, infantilizing, minimizing, or going nuclear. It can be very narcissistic in some such sort of the word, because I had a friend back in the some years back ago, who wanted us to even visit some white folks just to know how they are living. And I was like, so why do you want us to do that? Like this this dude was
Yeah,
telling
yeah.
me, encouraging me that we should befriend these white folks, that I think those people were like so-called missionaries, like those Jesus Christ, Mammon people. And so, oh, let's befriend them. We might, we might. It's like, oh, we'll get to know how they are living. They might have
Yes,
a lot of.
yes. I understand. It's and that I that
Yeah, can you hear me? Uh, Hello, is it from my end? Hello, I can hear you. Hello, can anyone hear me? Guys, if you can hear me, type yes. I don't know why it went out like that. Okay, I think it was from Kifaro's end. Yeah, so basically, I had people back in the days that I don't know whether there is an admiration for other people, but they'll be, oh, let's befriend that person. Oh, that person can connect us with this. That person, it appears they have so much wealth. When we are friends with them, we might have this, we might have that. And so, even though we don't really like the people as a, no, when I say like is just a shallow word. It's like we don't have any business with meeting up with those people. We don't have any business with them, but we have to present ourselves like that, like we like them. We see them, we have to give them a necessary compliment. Oh, you look so good. Oh, I like that your dress. Oh, how do you get this? It's a lot of, if you have to put a lot of effort trying to present yourself that you are that good person, like just to become a friend to somebody. That's basically like social climbing, you know. And your in your mind you are doing all of that, just that you just want to be part of their social circle. You just want to benefit from them in such a way. You want people to regard you as, oh, they work together, he knows that rich man, they have that, you know.
Mhm.
It's funny. Yeah. Yeah, can you carry on, Kifaro?
Yes, yes. Sorry, I keep being, I'm always keeping knocked out by my network. I don't understand, and that is a huge problem. No, as I said, it's becoming a culture, and if we have politicians with this kind of mindset trying to be president in our various countries, it's not going to help. As you said the other time, you had friends that just wanted to befriend some foreigners because I think they think being closer to them is going to make their life better. So just think about it. How vulnerable were those your friends to those people? You understand? So they already put themselves in a really, really vulnerable position because they want to achieve some fame just by collide joining themselves with some people they thought had a better status that made them vulnerable. If those Mormons, whatever, could tell them, okay, you need to come here and do this to be my friends, don't you think they will be willing to do that? They'll be willing to do whatever those Mormons were willing,
Definitely,
yes, were
definitely.
asking them
That's
to do
where
just because
the
is
sellout trait will come out from being a sellout.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
And that is not only bad for them, it is bad for the community. Just imagine those people were trying to test some kind of thing in the community. They could use them because they know these people are vulnerable. They want to be part of us. Let's just use them. Anything we tell them, they're going to do just because they want to be part of us. But if those guys had really wanted to be worthy of themselves, build themselves from scratch, struggle to attain their goals, they will not be vulnerable to whatever missionaries or whatever. And that is the same mindset that most those people, our ancestors, they had. You understand? They wanted to be the white, like closer to these white people. Even in West Africa, we have people who think they are black French people that they want going closer to the Frenchman makes you better. Just dressing like the Frenchman is better than dressing like an African. We have presidents that were caught on tape saying that their whole country should abandon the their cultures and inherit the Frenchman's way of life. Can you imagine? You understand? So
definitely.
we still have we have a long way, but actually people are getting more conscious like you and most of us pan-africanists, and we always have to preach this message to people that there's no shortcut. You have to build.
Yeah,
This part I don't like talking about the West, but they didn't take shortcut. They put the
exactly,
work. They built their
exactly.
nation from crash. It was destroyed during First World, Second World War. They still built it. I always give an example. Look at Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Those two cities were almost destroyed to completely rubbles. But these cities are standing shine with skyscrapers and bright lights. If they destroy Africa now with this mindset, it's going to remain like that for another 100 years because
Yeah,
even the small we have, we can't put it together. So that kind of dubious mindset, we need to single them out in a various society and root them and eliminate them. You know, it should start from the families. It should really start from the families. I think from trying to handle issues like that from the political point, from the political atmosphere, let's say political sector, it's easier because they can make rules. It's not that it cannot not that it can be done, but it's easier. But if something is a cultural thing,
yeah.
you understand, it needs to be we need to start to fight it from the family. you know but
Mm.
why do you envy that guy? What does he why? Just because? Why? you know we should
You
envy
know,
people with substance.
yeah, it's even more common now in our culture. Like even marriage, like people have to pretend that they have rich families just to marry. Like doing the ceremony, they had to borrow things to show off that they are coming from a rich background, which is it was actually appreciated. Like people really expect that to happen because they be like, oh, you cannot present yourself that way. You have to present yourself this way. We have to look best. So there is this pressure that people put on you just to look good, and then it's crazy. And even if it comes to our own traditional festivals and celebrations, there is a lot of fakery going on. You realize that we are not being ourselves anymore. We just want to present ourselves to the best, and what we are doing is we trying to achieve. Let me just go here. There is at the back of every devious person, right? You know, I would say to them they just they to them they are just being smart, and they are trying to be successful, or they want to get successful as quickly as possible. They just want to get
Yeah,
what they want. Yeah.
but these people, yeah, they fail to understand that a success, being successful as an individual, does not count at this moment. The kind of
Yeah.
success we need a collective success. There's no need for you going to a village and building a mansion where the villagers don't even have food, they don't have road, they struggle, but you want to show yourself that you are better. People will still say, well, you live in that village, and that if that village is dusty, it's still dusty. It does not matter if you have a big house or whatever. Maybe those in that village will see you and they say, oh, okay, this man has got a house. But out of that village, you are still nobody. So why do you want to be, I don't know, a king only among, like, not even a king? You want to have an influence over people that are desperate, just because
Yeah.
you want them to see you as someone that is powerful. No, you should have power that the world see you as powerful. And for the world to
Yeah.
see you as powerful, you can't hide in the village. You need
Uh-huh.
to make the whole country powerful. That's why I say, for example, China is a developed country, but not all part of China is developed. But a Chinese man that comes from the village is likely going to get more respect than someone from Nigeria that comes, I don't know, from Victoria Island. Because when they think about Nigeria, they're not thinking about that Victoria Island. They're thinking about Nigeria as a whole. But when we think about China, we're not thinking about that remote Chinese village. We're thinking about China and in general. So because of that, they're getting more respect than you. And we need to attain that level. That when we think about Ghana, Ghana is like a paradise. So even the dustiest from Ghana is respected.
Definitely. It's so to continue what I was saying, like it's often like, let me just say it's often backfires, at the long run, right? Devious people may lose the trust and the respect that others have for them. It's
Mhm.
it's common. It's something that will definitely happen, and it often damages relationships, and face a lot of negative uh, consequences or outcomes might that you might actually be trying as much as possible to avoid those, but those are the same outcome that will actually hit you so hard that if you don't know, I know people who might even commit suicide just because of the fact that they presented themselves in a wrong light, and now
Mhm.
it's caught up with them, so they don't want to exist anymore. But unfortunately, that wouldn't happen to us. As for us, there is always going to be a gaslighting. We are always going to gaslight, and how do you call it? Then we will see people over comparing. Then how do you call it? Um, you know, trying to confirm why they do what they do by using unnecessary comparisons. It's just often, and like sometimes people blaming everything on the fact that colonialism is there. I mean, the fact that, I mean, all of those things exist, but what about ourselves? There are things that we need to work on ourselves.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
when that is the case, then we don't have to bring any other factor, and being devious may also cause you to feel guilty, ashamed, or even insecure about yourself at the end of the day. Being honest and respectful, on the other hand,
Yes.
you know, can help you. It can help you build trust and rapport with other people around you, and at the end of the day, that it creates a healthy society for all of us. Knowing that you can trust somebody, knowing that you can count on somebody, knowing the fact that you know you are not giving too much. They now call it pressure. Haven't been hearing of that term? I'm giving them pressure.
Yeah.
It's now like a common term nowadays that people will say, "Oh, I'm going to give them pressure." Then they go and rent out a car. They go and get this, so 2 days rich man. They are going to, I don't know how, maybe the so-called slay queen. They are gonna have some few relationship for some few days on the internet and take some few pictures, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm giving them pressure." No, it's funny.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
we should, yeah, and then there are a lot of examples that I even wanted to talk about. But do you have anything to add to what I'm saying?
No, no, I'm listening. I'm listening. It's okay. I'm just trying to figure. I'm just trying to realize how this devious mentality has actually eaten so deeply into the culture of most African society. You understand, and it's becoming a problem.
Mm,
And we actually need
yeah,
to see how we can eradicate this kind of mentality. Everything boils down to education, like strict rules, from the home, and patriotism, being yourself, being truthful to yourself. As you rightly said, when you're not devious, you're free. But when you're devious,
yeah,
you're walking on eggshells because like people may know me, people may know I'm fake. I don't think you can sleep at night. You have nightmare. It's like living a fake life, living a life that it's not you. That can be really, really stressful thing. As you rightly said, people do commit suicide. It makes sense.
yeah. And politics is one of the areas where you see a lot of pathological liars. Some of them, you wonder, when you look at some of these politicians, you'll be like, maybe they are not entirely good up there. They are not 100% over there at the top.
They're
You know
not.
what I mean?
They're not. They're
Because
not. They're not.
you could clearly see that they are lying. They are lying, and they are not ashamed of it. Everybody knows what they are saying is not true, but they have like this fake, outrageous, negative confidence to themselves, telling people that they are building roads, they are going to do this and doing that and doing that, and they know they are not going to do that. They know at the back of their mind, no, they are not even doing that. They'll have a lot of fake receipts to show, and then when it's investigated, then they are calling the other people, oh, they are a witch hunting, they are doing this, they are doing, then there's gaslighting stuff. It's very common here in Africa, and to the point that young ladies and had to deal with this, like young ladies growing up, they meeting a guy, maybe they are in love with the guy, to the point that this is actually, they said you have to, the only way you have to prove yourself as being confident and go for a lady is actually to lie to them, make them love you by
Mhm.
lying to the teeth. And this is like manipulating their emotions, you know, or actions to just gain advantage of them. And it's common when it comes to this female and male relationship here in Africa. It's common, you know.
Mhm.
For example, a friend may even manipulate another friend into lending them money by making them feel guilty, or for being sorry, like feeling sorry for them. Or a boss manipulates an employee into working overtime by threatening them to fire them. It's very common here in Africa. I don't know
Mhm,
whether in other
mhm,
black
mhm.
communities in the Caribbean this might be there, but it's very common that your friend will come to you. The person actually coming to beg you for money is actually having a law. You
Mhm.
know, the person actually um begging you for the money. I need this money. Oh brother, I'm dying right now. Oh, and the last, please give me money. If you don't help me, I will die. They'll act as if that's I'm very bad at that because I'm not good at asking for things. Some of us are not good. So, they have a way, they present themselves like they actually need it. But at the end of the day, they are not the ones that need the money. But they will take your last end money and then later on they'll show you that you are being a fool or you are the foolish person here. I mean, so this is a typical example. There was this guy that we were doing internship together. I never knew that this person come from a very good home. Like when I say good home, and they live in a story building. Like I'm not in a story building, but this dude often act like he's the one who needs support the most. So the little that maybe I have that I need to manage, I'm like, oh, you to get this, you to get this. So when I got to know that this person is just a user, I started thinking to myself, but why would this person behave like this? Maybe he might be. So I start as over assuming for that person, like, is that person doing drugs? Is that person? Why would it? But when I got to know that it's actually a common trait among us, that people believe that when they are doing that, that means they'll be closer to being rich, meaning they'll be able to amass wealth for themselves at the long run. So I don't know how true is that is, but it's just a common phenomenon. Yeah, welcome Chuku Igwe. Chuku Igwe. I know that's a Igbo name.
Mm. It's really good.
Guys, you can join us on the show if you want to share about that. So how do we deal with our devious nature? It's causing more damage to our society than we think. You know, we have people who promise heaven on earth to their like employers promising their workers salary, and then when it's time for them to pay them, then they kept splitting the money into pieces. Today they'll say, oh, okay, take 50 cds, I'm having difficulty this time, we haven't make a good sales, so tomorrow I'll give you that. Tomorrow you come, there is nobody there. You have come the next day, there is nobody there. And then this is very common here in Africa. They keep splitting money. By the time you don't know what you've done with your money. Your salaries, you don't know. So how are we going to develop if that trait continues in our community? You know, when we are dealing with such situation, and guess what? There are a lot of aspects of our society that if I want to be talking about, and one of them is also about sabotaging someone's work, reputation, or even success. Like this involve deliberately causing harm or even damage to someone else's effort or achievement. I've dealt with that and I know what it is. A co-worker who is just entirely jealous of you, try to sabotage your work and project you in a wrong light by deleting your files, become like a rival. When you are turning something on, they are turning it off. And they have a reputation of talking bad behind your back, acting like dangerous, bitter rivals, spreading lies and rumors about you. It's very common in our African societies, and I'm not going to lie about that. It happened to me. It might happen to you. You are just like, oh, booty, you're all dealing with the same situation. Let's just work it out. Let's just work it out. Then guess what? That person is just out there gathering information about you, what they can use to attack you. They are doing that. How do we deal with these people? guys, we need to work it out, because if these things continue, it look like a society is built up on this principle where we have to uh, necessarily um sorry, it's like our society is built on this principle where we have to bring people down just to find ourselves in the spotlight. Then it's not the right form of development that we as Africans we need. That's not the right type of development that we should go for, right? I would want somebody else to come and give a different perspective as well, um yeah.
Yeah, so I know everything is politics. I think before I go, I just well, how are you with politics? Is it something you're interested in?
I'm very bad at politics. I'm just very bad. Even at work, I'm the worst person when it comes to politics at work.
Okay, but
There are
okay,
people who
okay.
knows.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
because you are going to meet a politics that was created that without you having any clue. But what about you creating your own politics from the grass, from the ground up? It's different. You understand that you know how every piece is connecting with one another, that you become informed. But if you just go into an institution that has been created, so many routes, it can be so overwhelming and confusing. I get that. It might take so much
yeah,
time for you to actually know what's going. But I want to tell you, I know there's something that we've created is called the ACUP, the African Continental Unity Party. It's a Pan Africanist movement, and we
yeah,
are creating political parties all across Africa. It's like young people. We've actually created the first one in Ghana, in your country. You understand? It's like young Ghanaians, and they still have to give them the official. Um, uh, they've given them now a provisional license, but they need to sign. I think they have to have they need to provide signatories. I don't know, maybe from 8 regions minimum for them to give them the full license. So they're doing that. So that guy I've given you his name, call him. You understand? It's a young person, and these guys are doing tremendous work. Just tell him Kifar will send you to him. He's a coordinator. Just talk with him. He might tell you how you can be of use. It's really powerful, and we're having another one in Cameroon, in South Africa, and Sierra Leone and
yeah,
Liberia. It's a conglomerate. So just talk with them, be part of something. It does not disturb you from doing anything different, but you can be part of a movement that your voice, the idea that you have, may be the idea that may change Africa. You don't know, but if you don't find yourself in the right, with the right connection, with the right people, we have all kind of people here. We have lawyers, business people. We are still working on the ground, but the idea is not just to riot and talk. It's a political movement.
yeah,
So that's his name is called
yeah,
Quado. So if you have time, you can call him on WhatsApp. So you just talk. It's called ACUP. It's the African Continental Unity Party. On the 24th, we're having a mass protest. Now I think we have succeeded to have license in 6 African countries. The protest is just about we are just standing with the support for the people of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, for the French and the European to free them, give them their freedom, and or to say no to war or embargoes and things like that. So we've had license, I think, in 5 African countries. So on the 24th, there'll be a global demonstration,
yeah,
like a peaceful one, and it's something that you need to look into. It's nice, it's nice, and the Ghanaians are working tremendously. They're leading with South Africa, so just be part of it. You might like it. The call the number. It's nice. Text him.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Thanks for that, and welcome. With the name Sanyalu Odunayo. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right. So we are talking about how to deal with devious African people, and we know that we have this culture of deviousness in our community where we don't know. It's like we hate being true to ourselves. We have to act like we are rich when we are poor. We have to prove to others that we are the best people, but beneath it all, we are not. We are just acting. It's like we are acting. Um, We're trying to associate with people. We're trying to prove to people this and that, and all of that is just deviousness, and it extends to some elements even at work, in our societies, where we often, create a toxic workplaces where it's just difficult to deal with your own black brother or sister because they are spreading lies and rumors about people. They are trying to tarnish each other's image just to they when they see that you are that knowledgeable and skillful, and you have all it takes to be that good leader, then they try to bring you down by tarnishing your image, doing all sort of things behind your back. It's all deviousness that we have, so on the good note, I would say that those things ought not to be exalted in our community. But unfortunately, in our African community nowadays, it's not about being right. It's not about being truthful. It's not about being honest anymore. It's about being the richest. It's having the political influence. It's about being the one who everybody likes. So when they like you, you can do the most crazy things ever. They can be the most hated pathological liar. Nobody cares. So long as they like you, you can go, you can, do whatever. And this is very common. It's causing more damage than we think. Because at the end of the day, what do we want? We want, devious behavior. We want it to be generally frowned upon, right, and condemned by our society. We want um we want all of that being done, so that, because at the end of the day, it violates our social norms and expectations, right? Devious behavior can also have negative consequences for both the perpetrator and then the victim, such as the legal trouble, loss of trust, damaged relationship, guilt, shame, and low self-esteem. You know, therefore, it's better to avoid being devious and instead be, let's be honest, let's be respectful, let's be empathetic in our interactions with each other. But at the end of the day, it's all of that I've just said right now. It's just like a fantasy, because at the end of the day, somebody wanted to get ahead. Somebody want to have the best resources without working for it. Somebody want to, you know, be like a vampire, feeding off other people's, flesh. When I say this, I'm basically, I don't mean literally, but you know what I mean. Somebody works so hard, you just want to hang around and be consuming what they work hard for without you putting in the effort. That is not right, you know. So we want good, but at the end of the day, how do we deal with that? Is our society also ready? Kifaru, do you think our African society is ready to embrace the truthfulness, like the real honesty?
I don't think we will be ready. I think we need to force people. You understand? I think we actually need to implement harsh rules that people will not like it. You understand? Will not like it, but as time passes by, it will become the norm. Okay, because if we just allow the self to just become conscious one day, like miraculously all Africans become conscious, it's going to take us 1,000 years, because it's always going to be that one that does not care, and its influence may poison the minds of those who want to be conscious. So to me, to actually change the African society, we need the people with the right mind. I call them the elite class, to get power and make like really, really harsh rule. I give sometimes the idea of North Korea, and people say that's so harsh, but well, the West talks a lot of bad things about North Korea, but we don't know. But if we see, you and me will agree that North Korea is more advanced country. They've got their own nuclear program. They can shoot satellite, missile, long range. That's high tech. That's high science. So that working on something, and everyone in that country has to follow a particular protocol, way of life. If you don't want it, well, you might leave. That may be so harsh, but we need this kind of society that we have to censor people. We need to make sure that we are on the right track because it's a competition. It's a competition. The other side, they're forming, they're grooming and creating their population, making them ready for the future. But what are we doing? Just allowing people to be devious and promoting that kind of characteristics or kind of behavior? We don't. And we expect them to pray it off or God is come change it one day. No. We need rules that if you do so, if you deceive somebody that you're this, and if it's a lie, you're accountable for it. Those kinds of little laws that people might think is not necessary, but we need them.
Definitely, the laws, our laws in our country must work. We live in a country which, unfortunately, I don't know what we're dealing with. That's why sometimes it came to a point that I made a show that we need to go back to our African traditional culture, our old religious systems, where you are paraded in front of your to in front of your deity to either confess, and there is a repercussion to that immediately, to that effect. When you lie, you're gonna die. And sometimes it turn out to be that they don't people who lie are not the only people who die. They lie. When you lie, you die together with your families, which is horrible. It's not right,
Mhm.
right? But at the end of the day, it kind of instills some level of honesty in community. Now it's totally a different picture. It's about who have the money to get the lawyer that can twist and turn the law upside down. We know it is the person is lying, but there's nothing you can do about it. They have lawyers out there that are protecting them, that are defending them. So at the end of the day, how are we going to deal with this societal, uh, you know, upheaval? Because it's just not working. It's not working in Africa. Laws don't work right. You see somebody, so long as they don't have the money to go for lawyers, it's like they are not going to get justice. So justice become expensive. So the devious people who have the arms around the cash are often going for the lawyers that are defending them, putting them in the position where they are always, it looks like they are always winning. So at the end of the day, what I, as a person, Afriscope can do at this very beginning, we need to actually do the work. How do we?
Mhm.
Because each and every day we deal with people. How do we deal with the right people, or how do we choose the right people and not fall a victim to these devious people, and then cause more havoc in our life? Because at the end of the day, devious person, you waste all your entire life trying to build yourself, build your skills, do whatever, invest in your home, and these devious people will just use a few seconds to crash everything down. Or they can plan to a certain degree, before you know, everything in your life has turned upside down. That's how they are like cancers.
Exactly, exactly, exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
give you a small
We
perspective of
need
how we can identify.
we need
Hello?
more serious. Yeah, we need a more serious, close, and a controlled society. You understand? Because
Definitely.
we're coming from we don't we're not coming from a great past. We didn't inherit a good system that was stable, so we are trying to build something to compare or to compete with this really established system and this established world order that has been rolling and has been tasted, and updated, and I don't know, retasted, for it to be so powerful. So we are coming from nothing. We inherited nothing. Our ancestors, I don't know, some of them were sellout, some of them didn't care. So we're coming from a weak background. So we need really strict laws to make us compete. That's my point. We need to put people in shape. You understand? People are not going to like it, but we will need it. I don't know more about Ghana or more about them from Rollins, but I heard a lot of Ghanaians say good things about him because he was a strict guy, like really strict. And some people think he transformed Ghana a lot. That was only
Yeah.
possible because he was strict. If
Yeah.
we just
But
have
people, they
Elizabeth,
don't like him. They don't.
it's exactly
He was a lot.
you don't have to like him, but he did good for the country. That's what I said. If he's doing the right thing and he needs a lot of people to be with him, then you will have to. He transformed Ghana. He transformed Ghana. That's what people say. I don't want to talk so much about that, but I have a lot of Ghanaians that believe so. And even though Nigerians don't like military regime, some of them will still admit that during the military regime, Nigeria was more organized. Maybe military have got their own way of doing things, but most of them still believe that Nigeria got better, was more people, it was more structured under military regime. There was more development. A lot was done. Some people don't agree, but a lot of people do believe. I even know people who work in the government who are like professionals. They still believe that only military government, that is where structure can make Nigeria become a powerhouse. So all what they're trying to say, we need some structure, some of that's a way of a society that is people, because we African people, if you give us options, we'll take it. I'll always try to take the devious option. You understand? Because that's easy way we can.
Definitely.
You understand? But if we don't have that option, and this is only what you have to do for some time, we get used to it. The next generation will copy. When your child sees you behaving in a certain way, it's likely that they're going to behave like you. They don't know you're behaving like that because you're scared of the law. They think that is normal, but they'll inherit that behavior that is good behavior for the society. They'll pass it over to their daughter or their children as well. You understand what I mean? So because we create
Yeah.
some strict laws, we can pass a good mindset to the next generation that they can copy and do something good. But if it's just laissez-faire, we see like people just doing horrible things, and they will see it. They have their choice, so many choices, and we humans, we always want to choose the easy and shortcut, and it's never the best option.
Yeah, exactly. So what I will also add to this conversation, which I think is also very important, is actually how we can figure out who to deal with, each and every day of our life. Because at the end of the day, there are people out there, I myself, I run into people who are very devious. Like at the start, they make you believe their dreams, their goals. They make you feel like you are part of them. Join me, you can help me, and everything. When everything works, you and I will have this and have that. And then when it start working, you are nowhere to be found. When everything is when they are winning, they are nowhere to be found. Then it's like you are like a pushover. You are stamped on, you know, and to the point that you can't even do anything. You can't do anything here. They will secure themselves. You can't even come near close to them. It's crazy how it is. So how do we deal with all of that? So I would say, it's hard. Diverse people, they are often hard to spot, but there are some signs that can help us, identify them. And here are some of them that I wanted to talk about. So, often devious people, they like to conceal their true intentions, you know, and they like to adopt the opinion of others just for them to gain their trust. They ask you to share your thoughts with and your feelings with them, and then they pretend they like asking unnecessary questions sometimes, and then they pretend to agree with you or empathize with you. They can be also be like worrying someone who always want, they want you to open up first about something. Be very careful around those people. They can be very devious, and those are the high class devious people. They are the ones who actually want you to reveal something about yourself, but they will never ever like you. They will never ever put themselves in a position where they are they open up. They are like those investigators. Then they try to act like they are empathizing with you, you know. But at the back of their mind, they are just it's they are working. They are activating their devious nature. They are trying as much as possible to conceal their true intention. That is, as a good person, what we need to do as people is, first of all, when we are dealing with people, we need to know their intentions. We need to know. Else, someone will come close to you don't know their intention, you feels like they are just hanging around you. When you say when you move left, they are following you. And we often, as people, we like easy things, so we like it when people are hanging out with us like that, you know. When you don't have to you force them to do anything, you don't have to know about them. It's often very difficult. But let's examine that carefully. When you have somebody in your life, right, you have somebody in your life, the person often act like, oh, whatever you tell me, I will do it. Oh, and then you just don't know their intentions. It's difficult to figure them out. Most often, these people can be very devious. Sometimes they are there, they will ask you unnecessary questions about yourself. They wanted to dig down information about you, and all of that they are formulating, they are formulating the data they'll be using to attack you. And when they attack, it's hard to leave. You have to run out, run away from them. Yeah, it's often hard. So those are one of the traits that we need to keep in mind about devious people. Um, Let me see who else is here. Guys, if you want to support Afriscope TV, this is Cashapp. Is dollar tag AfriscopeGH. That's how you support. And then the paypal.me/Afriscope TV. Please don't worry about the name behind it. It should definitely come to me, right? It should definitely come to Afriscope, and I will also notify the panel when when you support the show. I will notify the panel. If not now, maybe later on when we are live. I also want to say a big shout out and thank you to Mr. Andrew for being there, for supporting us with $10 last time. It's great to have you always being there for us. And for all of you in the chats, I want to say hi. Shout out to Kaizo Empire and all of you. So we were talking about devious people and yeah, how to deal with them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay. I'll leave you, brother. It was a nice conversation. I think that devious mentality is something that I'm going to write down on my notebook. We're going to talk about it on the bigger Pan African, it's Freedom Minded Academy, because we're trying to make people know our problems. We should look into ourselves and see what's going on. And this is a topic that I'm going to raise there. It's a really good topic that you brought it up. It's really good that I was here. So yeah, I just want to tell you, please just
yeah.
share the ACUP website. If you can call Quado, it'll be good. It's Ghanaian, right there. You can speak to him and he's going to explain you more and just be part of the movement. It does not take much. So there's ACUP, anyone that is actually interested in Pan Africanism, actual political movement. If you're not ready to
Yeah,
get
I'll
into
look into
politics,
it.
yeah, so it's okay. It's not for everyone, but if you actually want to be part of a political party that you created yourself with young people, then that's where to go. So thank you, nice
Yeah,
show.
I'll
Thank you for the
definitely look
show.
into it.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, thanks for being
Take
here.
care.
Thanks for being
Yeah.
here. You're always welcome. Yeah. So I'm also going to hurry up and wrap up with the show about how to deal with diverse people. I've said the first. We have to pay attention to their true intentions. Yes, we have to watch anybody that comes close to you, know their motives. Why are they with you? We need to figure out that before you open up to people, before you stay close to people, know their intention, vet them really well. Else, you don't know what it might cost you. Some of the devious people too, you have to watch out for. There are people who they'll ask, they sometimes act like they are giving you things, right? There are people who will give you things, gifts, and at the end of the day, they are expecting something in return. Often that thing you don't know how it's going to cost you. It might even cost you your life. Who knows? So we have to be careful about devious people. It's actually a big deal to me when I got on the show. But I thank Kuhiki Faro for being here and keeping it real, you know. And I also want to suggest, not suggest, but talk about this aspect. When you, it easier, when their work ethics. Some devious people, you can figure them out quickly. The way they work, you know, because often devious people may take credit for work of others. They like to take credit for things that they are not doing. People's work, they'll claim they have done it, or they try to act as important people doing things, and they like to withhold important information or instructions. They want to withhold all those information so that people will say that they are the ones doing it. Oh, they are the people, without them we can't do it. Those are devious people. When you encounter such a person, know how to deal with them. And of course, be wary of their drama. Devious people may create unnecessary drama or conflict to distract you from their true agenda. That's what they do. They are very good when it comes to drama. They may also attack you on an unexpected front or use a different issue as a pretext to get what they want. That's what they do. Very toxic. They may also try to lure you into I'll say a beneficial alliance that is actually harmful to you. They'll claim, oh, this is going to benefit you. What is that? That's a lie. And look at their history. Devious people have a trial of victims of scapegoats in their wake. So look carefully, vet them. Whoever they've been with in the past, how have they dealt with those people? How have their life, the people that they've worked with, how has their life improved? So they may blame others for their own mistakes or failures, or often they refuse to take responsibility. It's often somebody's fault. They will never, when they are talking, they are always the perfect person in the entity. It's somebody who is victimizing them. It is often somebody who is causing the harm, not them. And they may also have a reputation for being dishonest, untrustworthy, or unreliable. Let me tell you, these are some of the ways to identify these devious people. But remember that they can be very good at hiding their true nature. Always true, always trust your intuition and be careful who you trust. Always be careful with who you trust. Anyways, as with any good things, this live show too must come to an end. And I will say a big shout out to all of you for being here. The show will still be on YouTube, whether it's the most perfect or the most bad, whatever it is. But I do believe that this show give us a cultural insight about devious people or the nature of deviousness in our African communities or black communities, wherever we are. I believe it's a toxic trait that is impeding development. That is why I brought it to you. So at the end of the day, I want us to identify the fact that all of us can be devious in some sort of the way, and this will also mean that we might actually be destructive to ourselves. So this topic shouldn't be a way that we project or we kind of see other people just looking at hunting for devious people in our way, but also to put ourselves at a position where we wouldn't be we wouldn't be the devious people in other people's life, you know. At the end of the day, let's be good people, let's work on ourselves, let's be honest, stay true to yourself, stay true to the people around you. The world is too oh full with troubles to be devious. We are already dealing with a lot of issues, a lot of troubles. So there is no need for us to be devious. At the end of the day, thank you all for being here. And shout out to Janzola for, keeping it real with us here. And, Ja, um, let me see. Ja, thank you so much for moderating the show. Let me just do the good work. Let me see. Give me a few seconds, Ja. Yeah. Yeah, I say I'm trying to see if I can get this show right. Okay, I think this is it. Okay. So guys, those of you who are watching later, and make sure you like this video, share, subscribe, and keep supporting Afriscope TV. You can look in the description section on YouTube to get the Cashapp tag and then the PayPal me link over there if you want to support us. Of course, you do well to support us with the little you have so that we can keep running the show over here. Thank you all for being here. Enjoy the rest of the week and stay true to yourself as well. Thank you.